All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring Brad Hutchings up. He's a great comic, and he's been here the past couple months coming up here. Welcome to Comedy Stylings of Brad Hutchings. Meow. Thank you so much, Mark. I have been coming here for many weeks, and I've been getting better and better at my stand-up comedy, and I would like to do sort of a reflective set. Some of the things I've learned, some new stuff, some favorites that you guys have, and crud, you're not gonna believe this. I forgot my first joke. Just a second. Oh yeah. Sounds really annoying, huh? I've learned 3 things doing comedy. I'm going to tell you the first one right now, which is conspicuous with your notes. Comics that come up to open mic, don't know their stuff, and then go, immediately to the chair and read their notes. And what's this, and what's this, and what's this? Irritating as fuck. So I'm not going to do that with you. I'm going to be conspicuous with my notes. Golf fans here? We have any golf fans?
Yeah!
All right. So you guys know the U.S. Open is coming up this week, and you also probably know that Phil Mickelson is not going to play. And he's not going to play because his daughter, Amanda, is graduating from high school. And she's graduating in San Diego, and he can't make it to Wisconsin, to watch. He can't watch the graduation, get on a plane, make it to Wisconsin, unless there's extraordinary circumstances, like it's rained out a day or something like that. And everybody thinks Phil is just a great guy for this family thing. It was 1999 when he was second place to Payne Stewart, just 4 months before Payne Stewart's airplane crashed and killed him. When Amanda was born, the day after the U.S. Open, and everybody was watching Phil, and Phil said, "You know what? If I get it was actually a page at that time. He had a pager. If he gets the buzz from his wife Amy that she's going into labor, he's going to get out of there, get on a flight, get back to Arizona where they were living at the time, and be there for the birth." And everybody thought, what a good guy. What a good guy Phil Mickelson is. All right, Phil Mickelson is not a good guy. All right, let me tell you why. How many of you who want to stay home and watch the golf are going to be pulled off to graduations this week? And you're going to be pulled away from the TV because, hey, Phil Mickelson, he could win the U.S. Open, and he's not going to even play. So why, you're going to have to come to graduation and not be able to watch the golf. Or, it all ends on Father's Day next week. You're probably going to have to spend time with your dads rather than watch the golf because Phil Mickelson wouldn't play. Phil Mickelson is an awful guy. So, there's another guy who's not going to be at the U.S. Open. Tiger Woods. Now, when I left here 2 Sundays ago, I had no idea that night Tiger Woods would be found in his Mercedes at the side of a Florida road. His Mercedes scratched up with white scuffs, the front tires flat, the headlight knocked out, a tail light out, and the officer walking up to him with his right blinker on and him asleep at the wheel. Now the officer performed a standard roadside sobriety check on Tiger. Tiger blew a 0.0, no alcohol involved. He asked Tiger, what's going on here? You've been drinking? He said, "No, I haven't been drinking, but I did take some prescription drugs. And they might have had an adverse effect." Well, the sobriety check went on. The officer asked Tiger to recite the alphabet backwards. And Tiger said, "You want me to sing the Star Spangled Banner backwards?" This is all in the report. And then Tiger put his hand over his heart and started, "Brave thee of home thee and..." Okay, everybody stand up. I'm singing the Star Spangled Banner backwards, just like Tiger Woods did at the side of the road. "Free thee of land thee o'er, wave yet banner spangled, star that does say, oh, there still was. Flag are that night the through, proof gave air in bursting, bombs the glare, red rockets, the end streaming gallantly. So were watched ramparts, your fight perilous, the through stars bright and stripes broad whose gleaming last twilight's the ad hail, we proudly so what? It's kind of a good near ending for that. So what? Lighterly dawns the by. See, you can say, oh, oh. And then it dawned on me, Tiger Woods is the world's first time traveler. He went back in time to 1812 and had Francis Scott Key write the Star Spangled backwards. Well, now in our timeline, it's forward, but in Tiger's original timeline, that was the Star Spangled Banner. He had Francis Scott Key write the Star Spangled Banner backwards. All right, there's more. There's more going on here. In the original timeline, you guys are all familiar with this, like watching shows like The Flash and stuff. There's like a real timeline, and then there's alternative timelines because somebody goes back in time and messes something up. Well, in the original timeline, Tiger Woods has won 25 majors. Tiger Woods has earned $4 million in endorsements, mostly from Nike. I wear these nice shoes, kind of a sneaker guy. In our timeline, kids line up to buy shoes on Sundays when a new shoe drops. In the original timeline, the kids now, they get in line to buy Tiger's white dimpled balls. You guys are supposed to laugh a little more at that. All right? But in the original time, this is what really curious. Tiger Woods, Vice President of the United States. And as Vice President of the United States, he made a cameo in Back to the Future 15, starring Michael J. Fox. And this is the funny thing, is because in Back to the Future, starting with Back to the Future 5 in the original timeline, no DeLorean. That Mercedes bought the rights to that. And so you can kind of see Tiger, inspired by the movie that he was just made a cameo in, he got in the Mercedes and went back in time and switched things up. Well, anyway, as his cameo, Michael J. Fox made Tiger the greatest lacrosse player ever. And Tiger, instead of being Vice President of the United States, he was Vice President of his alumni club at Stanford. Kind of a step down. So Tiger, why did he go back and do this? Well, he wanted a challenge. I mean, life was just too easy for him. 25 majors, Vice President of the United States. He wanted something different. He wanted a challenge. He wanted to feel adversity. Jack Nicklaus has weighed in on this, and Jack Nicklaus thinks that Tiger Woods needs our help. And Jack is right. Tiger Woods needs our help restoring the original timeline. But I got to tell you, I have qualms about this because Tiger made one dick move when he went back in time. And that was giving Michael J. Fox Parkinson's disease. Guys, there's some other things I've learned. I'm recording, and I'm also recording for YouTube. I put these on yogurteater.com. I'm also periscoping live for a bunch of my friends that like to watch these live. And one of my friends, Cease Beeston, he's a truck driver. I was recently interviewed on his podcast. It was a very proud moment for me. And he said, Brad, I'm all with the comedy and everything, but can I give you some constructive feedback? And I said, okay, well, what is it, Cease? I really want the feedback. I appreciate everybody's feedback. It helps me be a better comic. And he says, it's California. It's beautiful out there. Why are you dressed up like the Unabomber every time you're on stage? And you know what, Cease? I think you have a point. Okay? So this is for Cease. I'm gonna lose the sweatshirt for Cease. You guys are, I need stripper music. Thank you, David. You can tell this is the part I didn't practice. But Anyway, since this is for you, I went long sleeve today. Tell you another sports guy I'm kind of miffed by. Derek Fisher. You guys been following Derek Fisher?
No.
Derek Fisher last weekend, he wrecked a Cadillac Escalade on the 101 going south, and not only did he wreck it, he flipped it over. And then the police arrived and they did a field sobriety test and they arrested him for DUI. Derek Fisher was riding in the car with Gloria Govan. Now you might know who Gloria is. She's the ex-wife of Warriors bench player, Golden State Warriors bench player, Matt Barnes. And this is not the first little thing involving Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher and Gloria Govan. Now you may remember Derek Fisher as a Laker. You know, he was with the 3 championship teams in the early 2000s. And then he returned to the Lakers later after a stint with the Jazz because, I mean, allegedly, but it made sense at the time, his daughter was undergoing cancer treatment in LA and he wanted to be close to her as she was undergoing cancer treatment. So he signed with the Lakers and won an additional 2 championships. Derek Fisher was the Players Union rep. He was an all-around good guy. Then, you know, something happened because October 2015, we find out that Matt Barnes has traveled all the way from a Santa Barbara basketball camp down to Lake Elsinore, just over the hill there, to basically kick Derek Fisher's ass because he's at his ex-wife's house partying with her. And then February 2016, Derek Fisher, you know, he was in his first year as head coach of the New York Knicks, and they canned him. This last January 2017, Derek Fisher had his house broken into in LA, and all 5 of his championship rings stolen. That was kind of sad. Now, this wasn't like LeBron's house, where, you know, the N-word was allegedly written on his gate and then painted over before the cops even could get there at 6 in the morning. But Derek Fisher just having kind of a bad couple of years. Now, you guys know who the biggest Cavs fan is now? It's Derek Fisher, because that Escalade he wrecked registered to Matt Barnes. When this series is over, Matt Barnes is going to come and kick Derek Fisher's ass again. So the longer it can go, the better for Derek Fisher. He's enjoying a great weekend right now. Another thing I've learned, cameras and audio and stuff. I have at my website I have audio or video of every open mic that I've done. However, I don't have video of the first one, and I'm missing video of the second performance I did here at Karman Bar. And the frustrating thing about that is, you know, I would love to have had video of my first open mic, because I'm starting to take this seriously now. And I'd love to have had that Karman Bar set, because my friend Matt was here and he did a set as well, and it was a very, very good set. I just have audio for those. But that's like my regret, is that I didn't put enough effort into getting the audio and video. You see now I've got 2 cameras plus another phone that's doing audio over there. And that's to make sure that I don't lose video and I don't lose audio. It's something I've learned. It's something you really got to pay attention to, because if you want a record of this stuff, you want to share it with people. Especially, I want to get booked. I want to get booked comedy gigs. So, you know, I got to put it on tape. That's something I've learned. Guys, you may not know this. Comedy is not my paying career. You may not have guessed. My paying job is I provide tech support to the people of India. Now, I roll in about 7:30 each night, which, you know, if you know your Indian time zone, well, my watch is totally off. If you know your Indian time zones is 8 in the morning India time. They have one unified time zone on the subcontinent. And the phone will ring, and I'll pick it up. By the way, when I say roll in, I mean like sit on the couch with my dog with a headset on, maybe TV in the back or something like that. And I work at night, 7:30 to, usually about 3:30 or 4, and then have my days free and sleep when I can. Phone will ring. I'll answer it and I'll say, "Hey, this is Vijay Swami. How can I help you today?" And they say, "Vijay Swami? How do you spell that?" And I'll say, "Well, Vijay, just V, J, Victor, J, right? Like you expect it to be spelled. Paranswamy, P-A-R-E-E-N-S-W-A-M-I. They're, oh, Vijay Paranswamy. Hey, I have a question about this. You know, this technical thing is going wrong with my TV or my computer or my business or something. And I help them out. And I provide the best service to the Indian people with their technical questions. And they're comfortable with me because I have an Indian name. Now, you know, lately, my family, my friends have been very concerned about this because, you know, 46 years old, and they think, Brad, you, my friend, are a slacker. You sit on your couch at night from 7:30 to 3:30 in the morning, and you provide tech support to the people of India. That's not a career. You know, it pays well. Well, no, that's not a career. That's not. You're 46. What about your future? And my dad has been especially hard on me. He said, you know, Brad, this has just got to stop. You can't do this anymore. Where did you get to thinking that you could do this, that this was an option for a career? From you, Dad! I learned it from watching you! See if David gets that reference. No? It's all right. He did a drug commercial early on. 80s drug commercial. Turns out my dad was a pioneer in the field of tech support to the people of India. And people would call him up, ring, ring, and he'd answer the phone. Hey, this is Vijay Paranswamy. How can I help you? Vijay Paranswamy. Hey, how do you spell that? And he'd say Vijay, you know, V-J. Well, I'll do the J for you guys just like you'd see it. Vijay Paranswamy. P-A-R-E-E-N-S-W-A-M-I. And, you know, he was very successful with it. Made a lot of money. Bought himself a nice house. Took great care of his family. And, you know, I followed in his footsteps. There are customers that have been with our company for a long, long time. They've worked with him. They've worked with me. So they know me as Vijay Paranswamy Jr., or for short, VJJ. My obligatory vagina joke. But, you know, besides the pressure I've been getting, you know, the customers have been kind of jerks lately. One called me up this last week and he answered the phone, hey, this is Vijay Paranswamy. How can I help you? And he says, yeah, I know VJJ. I know you. Are you really Indian? I go, well, what do you mean? And he goes, well, you don't sound Indian. And I'm all, okay, I'll listen. You don't sound Indian when I do you in this bit on stage. So, you know, give me a break here. Another one called up and he said, Vijay, you need to talk faster. I can't understand a single thing you're saying. I'm like, okay, talk faster for you. But, you know, what really took the cake is a longtime customer, Nitin. Nitin, he makes sweaters and he sells them on Etsy. Okay, Nitin. The guy's name is Nitin. He makes sweaters, like with yarn, right? Nitin makes sweaters. Okay, I'm just going to keep beating this into the ground until I get some acknowledgement for this pun. Nitin makes sweaters. Nitin makes, okay, that's sort of a smile. Nitin makes sweaters and he sells them, there you go, and he sells them on Etsy. See, this is an interactive set here. I'm waiting for the interaction. Nitin makes sweaters and sells them on Etsy. And he calls up and he says, oh, VJJ, what are you wearing? I'm like, sorry? And he goes, oh, VJJ, I want you to strip that sorry off of your body. And I want to see your body glisten in front of me. And I go, come again? And he goes, oh! All right, at this point, I'm just completely weirded out. I pick up the phone, I hang it up, I decide I need a new career. And you know, I've been looking at new careers, and say one of the careers I'm looking at is one in corporate America. And you know, corporate America, I understand because I have a spy in corporate America, and she tells me that they have buzzwords that people have to know. And I'm like, okay, so what are the buzzwords? And she says, well, one of the buzzwords is telephony. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I know what telephony is. T-E-L-E-P-H-O-N-Y. You know, back in the 70s and 80s, we called that telephony. This is when you go up to a hot girl and you'd ask her for a number, and she'd give you the phone number of her ugly friend, telephoning. She tells me, well, there's granularity. Do you know what granularity is? I go, fuck, I know what granularity is. This is easy. This is when your grandma says or does something that's completely off the wall hilarious that you talk about for years and years and years. So my grandmother, who passed away 2 years ago, about 20 years ago at my college graduation, I graduated with honors from UC Irvine. She was at the honors convocation, and they served us great food at a little bar, and the students and the family could go in and serve themselves. And there was, I can't remember if we could get drinks or not. I think we could, but I don't want to say that because get the school in trouble. I don't know how that worked. Anyway, she dishes herself up a plate of meatballs, and 2 meatballs fall off the plate, and we're all watching her, and she doesn't know what to do because the meatballs are on the floor, her plate's here, everybody's standing around, and she looks very deliberately at the meatballs, and she kicks them under the table. Okay, granularity. Like another thing with my grandmother, she and my grandfather went on a trailer trip across the country, and one of their favorite places to stop was in Alabama. What she said about Alabama was, they call a spade a spade. Unintentional hilarity. Granularity. The third buzzword that you have to know for corporate America is bandwidth. I think of bandwidth, it's like the width of a band. Like line up the members and figure out how wide they are. So let's take Guns N' Roses as an example. Appetite for Destruction comes out. This is 1987. Appetite for Destruction comes out, and their bandwidth is like this, because all 5 of them are heroin addicts, right? So you guys remember Appetite for Destruction? Hey, where you going? What you gonna do? Be looking everywhere. Be looking for you. You don't want my love. You want satisfaction. You don't need my love. Okay. And remember, Axl himself, right? Axl's sort of the thing that's held this band together, and bandwidth kind of follows Axl. Axl's very, very skinny at this point. GNR Lies comes out a couple years later. Axl is now looking like a post-pubescent, maybe like 17-year-old, filling out a little bit. You don't need my love. You want to find yourself another. You spell the action because you're crazy. Hey, you're fucking crazy. Oh my. They go on and they release some more albums. They go and do Farm Aid. You guys remember Farm Aid? And, Axl's getting a little wider. He's starting to look like an adult, so the bandwidth of Guns N' Roses has gone to about like this. And, how'd the Farm Aid song go? I'm going to skip the Farm Aid song. But then everybody quits the band. And yet still the bandwidth of Guns N' Roses continues to increase because Axl starts getting fat. And he spends 17 years and $13 million to produce Chinese Democracy. And, when Chinese Democracy is finally out, Axl is like this. And so the bandwidth of Guns N' Roses is like this. And it sounded like this. Gonna call the president. Gonna call myself a private eye. Gonna get the IRS. Gonna need the FBI. Ooh, what shall I do if I give my heart to you? It's a crime, it's true. Right? That, my friends, is the best Axl Rose doing a song on Chinese Democracy impression you will ever hear, because it's the only Axl Rose doing a song from Chinese Democracy impression you will ever hear. And that's bandwidth, right? They're Guns N' Roses is very, very fat. Now they've gotten back together and they're touring, and the bandwidth has gone down a bit because Axl's a little bit more in shape. Those are the words from the buzzwords from corporate America that I need to know in order to secure a job in corporate America. Guys, there's one last thing I wanted to tell you tonight, and that's things I've learned doing open mics. And that last thing is, holy fuck, did I get fat. Good night now.
Brad, Parent Swami Hutchings, ladies and gentlemen.